So I am Denis Gravier. So I studied geology, field geology. During my education, so I studied mineralogy, crystallography, petrology, and all that stuff. I started to work for a few months in a company, and then I met somebody who was very, very interested in the collecting specimens. Yeah, you know. So we decided to create our own company after having traveled during the holidays. I traveled to Pakistan, and he traveled to Pakistan, I traveled to Congo. So we brought back some mineral specimens. We made a local show, and then we did okay. So we quit our job, and then we started our own company for specimens. So.
That's fantastic. So that was just right after studying geology,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you decided to travel, and
yeah.
mainly to Congo.
Yeah, I traveled extensively to Congo, French Congo, which is not Zaire, Belgian
Yes.
Congo at that time.
Yes.
I traveled also to Pakistan. I traveled to Mexico, other countries which are like Yugoslavia, which doesn't exist anymore. Morocco, as I said, in order to find mineral specimens. I gave up that because at some point my partner established in Madagascar, and then we went more into the rough material for cutters, hobbyists. And after a while, we switched from rough to finished material, which is very often the case with mineral dealers. I mean, rough dealers, yes. Since we had education in mineralogy and everything, we were primarily interested in rare species, which are not often used in jewelry, or even not used at all, because they are either too soft, too rare, or too everything. And also it was probably at the beginning a matter of money, because when you turn into sapphires or emeralds, then you need some amount of money to start with. So we decided to specialize in that range of material. Yeah. The challenge is to find them, of course. Then you have to travel, but these days, still you have to travel. But if you travel these days to the mining areas, you have to stay there for a while. Otherwise, it's very often useless. And miners and brokers also, they bring stuff now to the larger shows, so you can also get suppliers on the large shows like either Tucson or Hong Kong shows or any other shows. Yeah, after decades of business, I have built a net, and things happen. Well, things are brought to me, or also still, of course, I move. But I have a regular supply of new things. Normally, I am quite aware of the new material coming from here and there. I try to buy rough, and either I have them cut either in France or in Far East, depending on the material. Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, I learned how to cut stones, so I took a few lessons when I was 25, I think. That's already a while ago. But I realized it's very lengthy, and I preferred to keep on traveling, and so I left cutting on the side. But it's very interesting to know how to cut when you buy the rough. If you don't know, then you can't do that properly. In Europe, you have some collectors, so they will just buy the stone, cut stone, and keep them in collection. But they are very rarely mounted on jewelry. Well, if they are suitable for that. Europe is more traditional. Yeah, the big four, of course, and Also, you can find the tourmaline. Now you have the tanzanite, which is used, but the kind of material I am dealing with is rarely used. You know, if you talk about grandidierite, dumortierite, or legrandite, which cannot be used, but then people don't use that. It's different in Asia, especially in Japan, where people are, for a reason that I ignore, they are more attracted by rarity, and they will use small stones, like even 1 carat stone of good quality and exotic material, rare material. They will use it for jewelry without any problem. They will like it. Yeah, they are more collector, and also they have, most of them, they have a educational background in mineralogy, which is good, so they know very much about stones. Generally speaking, they know more than European people and American people. Gemology has been introduced over there about only maybe 15, 20 years ago. So now it's coming up. I mean, people are more aware of that than before. I live in the countryside. Yeah, I was born in the countryside. I still stay there, and I like it that way. Half a choice and half a necessity for me to do something else, because as I said, if you don't have the necessary money that you need at the beginning, you can't do things properly. And also, yeah, Paris is a good market, of course. It's internationally known, but also there are already dealers in Paris which are established for a few generations already, so I can't really compete with that. I have to create my own niche. I, of course, go to important shows like Munich show, Sainte-Marie in France, which is nearby where I stay, the Tucson show, Hong Kong. I also travel from time to time to producing areas, such as I recently traveled to Sri Lanka or Madagascar, but less than before. Yeah, of course, at least 2 things have changed, that people travel more easily than before. So it's true for us going to purchase stones, but it's also true for miners or brokers to bring stones out from the producing country. So more stones will be offered by brokers. And second change is, of course, the internet, which has changed a lot of things. Like now it's an important part of the market of rare stones, for at least for the prices, let's say the lower end prices, if we can say so. Yes, this is mostly sold through the internet. So now we have to improve our stock. Yeah, there is more gemology through GIA, through Great Britain, through other schools. Of course, people get more educated, so they will be more aware of rarities, more aware of treatments. And so, yes, the market has changed. You have to be always a little ahead of things. So when GMA decided to have teaching centers in French-speaking countries, they needed correctors. So I was one of them, since I was FGA already. Yes, for novelties and rare minerals, I would say nowadays Madagascar is still there. Yeah, still number 1, producing really a variety of new things which are nice, suitable for jewelry, and very rare. So I brought this nice fluorite from Switzerland, pink, which is 178 carats. Very beautiful material, very rare, and also, yeah, it's representative of our Alps. They are mined by we call them strahlers, the people who go climb the mountains and look for crystals. I also brought cat's eye damberite, yeah, with a quite impressive stone with a very neat cat's eye effect. Large size, yes, 140 carats from Tanzania. Tucson was great. It's always great. We love to meet here in Tucson. It's always a nice period of the year.